Hello everyone and welcome to episode 39 of The Spawn Point, the podcast that runs smooth like butter.
You went like 39.
Exactly. So, episode 39 that we're doing today, it's a bit of a dry week of stuff to talk about.
It's because E3's coming up, so no one's saying anything about anything.
Yeah. So the one thing we do have to talk about is mobile gaming. Not just in general, but also that Ebbie's favourite company, infamously famous for, and as she knows, Konami, are going to be focusing on mobile. But before all of that, our giveaway's still running for the Minecraft servers. You've got until the 25th of May. So that means you've got, well, basically a week left to enter, just over a week left to enter. So yeah, if you want free stuff, then go over to vectorgaming.co.uk/giveaway and enter, because you've got nothing to lose. You can only gain, or not gain at all. Depends how lucky you are. But let's talk about mobile gaming. So with Konami, they basically are they going to have like just stuff like Metal Gear Touch Edition or something, or like what games are they? Is it just going to be like, here, Solid Snake, press to...
So, like, at the moment, they've got a few games out. They haven't got any Metal Gear, like, mobile games out that I know of, unless they've snuck them in.
Yet.
If you want Snake to go inside the box, you need to pay 10 credits.
Oh, and you've run out of boxes to hide. I could imagine that. You're going to run out of boxes to hide in. They pull an EA, like, with their Need for Speed No Limits, where they had to buy petrol. And I'll be like, oh, you've run out of cardboard. Quick, just give us some money.
I like that. Need for Speed, no limits, apart from all of the limits that we put on the game.
Apart from when you run out of petrol, then you're screwed.
They've got Pro Power, or Power Pro, I should say, and Winning 11, which are the two ones that are making stuff at the moment. They've also got a Yu-Gi-Oh card game, which isn't doing as well as it once was.
Yu-Gi-Oh card game, Ebbie?
Yu-Gi-Oh
I
card
do
game.
like Yu-Gi-Oh! I do like Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the best thing that Konami have done in their entire lifetime, in my opinion.
Shots were fired.
Shots.
I mean, I've never played Metal Gear Solid game, and I've never played Silent Hill, so those might be great. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Was alright back in day.
Back in day.
Back in day.
That is really it at the moment that they've got on.
I guess that really sort of brings us to our next point, really, about just mobile gaming in general. So, do you reckon that more developers like Konami are going to go, you know what, let's focus more on mobile? Because we kind of are, even though I don't really like to talk about it because it hasn't even been announced yet and it's not even coming out next year, but people like to just talk about it like it's coming out tomorrow, and that's the NX, Nintendo's NX system, which is meant to cross the bridge of like smartphone and all that stuff. So it seems like other companies are following, like they're trying to go more.
I wouldn't say it's like going to cross the bridge of smartphone, because they specifically said.
But they are going to be they partnered up with what's the company called?
DNA.
Yeah.
But no, they specifically said that the fact that they mentioned the NX like now instead of leaving it later was to tell people, hey, we're not just going to make the move to smart devices.
Yeah.
We're still interested in the console market.
But the fact is that they're starting to focus more on the smartphone market. Konami are doing it. They already have done it.
Is doing it.
Yeah. That trusty Squeenix window cleaner. So, yeah, do you think more companies are going to make this move? And is it a move that you would be happy with, or would you really care about?
I think I was one of the few people that really wasn't. Everyone was saying Nintendo should put their games on mobile phones, and I was like, eh.
Yeah.
Like, my iPhone 4 barely runs, 4S, barely runs, like, Plants vs. Zombies at the best of fucking times, so I don't know how it's going to do with, like, a Mario game or whatever.
I mean, it's a stupid move, I think, for Nintendo to focus on that, because, like, they've obviously got the handheld consoles as well. So the 3DS, like, why would they bother making, like, new Mario games or porting Mario games to a mobile device when it's going to be taking people away from buying 3DSs?
I don't know about you. I don't really play mobile games. When how often do you actually play? Or what's the longest you've played a mobile game for? Like in one session? Because I don't think it's very long. I usually get bored of
45 minutes.
Yeah,
probably like a car journey.
Yeah, train journey or something.
But
about an hour.
The thing is, though, is that when it comes to like a train journey, or you're going long distance somewhere, kind of feels like a lot of people will just say, well, if I want to play, like not the casual audience, but like hardcore gamers, I'll get my 3DS out. Or
Yeah,
I'll get my
whenever
Vita
I'm
out.
on a train journey that's longer than like half an hour or whatever, I do take my 3DS with me because better library,
and
like,
the fact that the battery in the 3DS will actually last like a train journey and back, and whereas the phone will last the train journey, but like you're screwed later on in the day if you're trying to get back and you need to phone someone or do anything else on it, because the battery life's just going to be dead.
I've got to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of mobile gaming myself. Like, I've dabbled in a couple, but I've never been that dragged to it.
My biggest fear with mobile being more popular is because obviously, there's a lot of money in the smartphone market, because even if you have a free app, you get advertised, you get it from advertising revenue, like little ads that come up when you die or something, or when, through the bottom of the game throughout. Like Flappy Bird, for example, was a free game. It stole sprites, but it was on the App Store for free, and it just had like little ads at the bottom of the screen. I think I remember, like just like a little banner, and just simply because of that, because so many people were like keep them going on the app, and I believe as you're continually playing it just cycles through more ads, like on a timer. But the fact is,
it's got a thing in the top, but when you die. So, incidentally, if anyone wants to buy an iPhone 5S with Flappy Bird on it,
you're gonna do like PT where it's like, it's still installed. Although they did bring it back, didn't they?
I don't know. I pretty much put it on my phone when it was like Flappy Bird's disappearing. I've never played it.
I just have to say it's amazing that the creator did not get sued by Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's quite clearly some sprites there which are not, new.
Sure.
But yeah, so you guys don't really play. I don't think I really.
I'm just looking through the games that have in it, because
my thing is, why would I when I could play
on 3DS? Yeah,
on a 3DS. Although I do have a couple of games, and I've finished them.
I have to say, the only game that I really, looking on my phone, the only game I really play is Hearthstone, because that came out for iPhones.
Yeah,
and it is quite small.
It's alright on the phone, but if you're I tried to play it on a train, and it just does not keep its connection. You're like halfway through a game, and it's like lost connection with the person.
Although it's like I said to you, I actually preferred playing Hearthstone on the iPad than I did on the PC, because I like the whole dragon.
It's really cool just to go flick.
Yeah, exactly. So that is, I think it depends on how you do those games and in terms of how well they turn out, because you see some blatant ones where it's like people are like, they should put Pokemon on mobile devices, and it's like
they shouldn't. They really.
And then it's like, you'll just get on the phone a little arrows to walk. It's like the same with racing games where it's like, you have to use that, or you have to kind of go hold this to go left, and I hate on-screen buttons. I mean, that aren't there.
On my iPad, I've got games like Papers, Please, and that works really well on the iPad, and that's really fun to play in it, because it is very just get all the documents and put it down there, and then flick everything. That's really fun. But on an actual mobile, the only things that I regularly play on my mobile is something like Sudoku or Solitaire.
You old man.
And then it goes.
It's just
while he's going to the train to go play some cricket.
It's just because they're really easy, and if I'm on a train, I'm bored. I can get it out. I can just flick through the game in a couple of minutes, and I can finish it really quickly. Whereas something like I don't know, what other games have I got? I've got other stuff like Hearthstone. I've got Sonic 1 and 2 on here apparently. Simon the Sorcerer. But they're just really quick just to put up and put down.
I think it really you should focus. You know, those games that aren't designed for mobile, because the other thing with the mobile, like a smartphone, it's so limited because it's a touchscreen. Yeah, that can be brilliant, but then it's not as responsive for actual physical buttons. Like, with the 3DS, because you've got all these different buttons to choose from, you don't have to take up the screen with, there's a big left button and a big right button. You've only got so much space on this thing to, like, have the game going on, and if you've got half of it with a directional pad or something, then you're kind of...
That's why I actually hate Minecraft on, like...
I don't understand how anyone... And I don't
My nephew plays it all the time. It's just like, I've got things to show you. I built this, and I'm like, how did you do that on a tablet? Like,
I tried playing Minecraft on the iPhone. I was like, I don't understand how anybody can... Because that's got, like, the button things on it. It's like, it's not fun to play. Like, I just didn't... It's so fiddly.
Is it still vanilla in Minecraft on the phones as well?
It was just creative mode. I thought it was just creative mode.
It was so early back then. I don't even know now because I haven't got it anymore.
You can't mod it.
No.
No.
Like, that's what you're asking.
But it didn't even have things like Enderman and like other things like
it was like a really early build of Minecraft.
Build 1 or something like because the like PlayStation and Xbox ones, I haven't looked at that Minecraft in a while, but that was definitely like a load of versions behind the PC version.
Oh yeah, because I was super excited about that coming out on Xbox 360, so I bought that, and I was like, it's got tons of features missing, and it doesn't even run that much better than it does on my laptop, to be honest, and you're so confined. It's stupid, I don't understand it anyway.
Yeah, so I think like with with games that are made into movies, it doesn't usually go very well. Like, they're usually a disaster. Like when they try and make movies out of video games.
Right. Okay.
Point in case was that when you linked me the Super
Mario Brothers movie.
Mate, that is the best worst film ever. If you
so
haven't watched
it,
the whole of it is on YouTube. Just go and watch it. It's amazing.
And I just feel that my point with that is that I feel like a lot of the time, when you try and take a game that you play on PC or consoles, like, that's designed for that, and you try and go over to mobile with that same game, it usually doesn't work. There are obviously exceptions like Hearthstone, which does work, but that's because of the game mechanics and the way you play the game. Because you can actually say, well, you can drag and drop cards. It works. It's a really good way of having it. But a lot of games, like if Konami had Metal Gear Solid, you could just imagine like, you wouldn't be able to move much. It'd be like cover to cover, like Time Crisis. Like, quick, hold down the button down here to lean out of cover and shoot. Tilt your phone to move the camera or something. It'd be
stuff where you need precision of like where you're going to go. It just doesn't work on a tablet.
It's like
or on paper.
they always try so hard to make it really close to like what the game's like on other. That's probably the biggest falling point is developers try and go, we need to make this not feel like a mobile game and try and make it act in the same way that it does on the PC. But the thing is, you actually got to make it different. You've actually got to say, well, we've got to change the mechanics. We can't have the same game, just port it over and go, okay, that'd be,
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to mention it again because I always do, but like FTL, one of like my shut up, Ebbie. That's on iPads, and like it's not as good on the iPad because you can't do everything. 'Cause you don't have the mouse. It's a functional game, but it's just not as fun. I don't feel, because like you're trying to fire the weapons and then it pauses everything. It's kind of well optimized for the iPad, but it's not as fun because it's a bit janky.
Sorry, yeah, were you gonna say something, Eddie?
My concern is that it's gonna go into like this whole different park of microtransactions and stuff like that, because I played the original Plants vs. Zombies, and I absolutely adore that game. It's so much fun. That's the only game I still have installed on my mobile. Because it's great, I bought it for like $3.50 or something, had tons of fun with it, and was done with it at the end of the day. And then I was really excited about Plants vs. Zombies 2 that was coming out. That was a free game that I have struggled to do anything with because I have to buy the plants separately and stuff like that.
It's kind of depressing. Like, going with that though, like, one of the other games that I have, like, have you heard of Robot Unicorn Attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the original one was like it was you had to pay like however many pounds to buy it in the mobile, and then the second one they decided we're gonna give it for free. So you can buy it for free, and then the way they make money is if you're buying like soundtracks in the game.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much play the whole of the game, and it rotates on the levels. And I think you can buy other levels, I'm not sure, or equipment. But the way that they've put it through is you don't actually need to spend any money. I think I bought one song because I wanted the original song, because, I mean, that's the best. Robot Unicorn Heck. Still wanna be with you.
And then the content ID
Because it is
will
not.
come and get you.
It's not a Robot Unicorn Attack game without that song.
I love that song. It's so good.
It does kind of, on the topic of Plants vs. Zombies, tower defense games are probably one of the genres, or like, yeah, that sort of genre of like, you place these units, waves, think of enemies coming. That probably works quite well for mobiles in general as a genre. But yeah, like, microtransactions is already a problem. Like we were saying earlier, Need for Speed No Limits, the most ironic title for a video game. EA's most ironic version of for a title of a game. And you have to actually pay for petrol. Like, it's bad enough having to pay for petrol in real life. We're going to have to pay for it virtually now as well. Because there's a shortage of petrol, clearly, virtually. But
Garage.
I'm just
Stuff
really...
like that makes me angry. Like, just makes me angry.
What EA did to fucking Dungeon Keeper as well. I'm never going to forgive you for that, EA.
It's alright, you got the War for the Overworld game, I think, isn't it? That was sort of inspired by Dungeon Keeper.
Yeah, that's true. But it's alright, because they messed up Plants vs. Zombies too, when they bought, what was it, PopCap Games or whatever.
Oh, yeah. People have been saying, I've been hearing people say that, like, they've kind of gone downhill since the whole sort of...
Yes, because I can't buy the game. I can't buy the game as a direct package, so it's really difficult to play it. And it's like £3 for a fucking plant that shoots ice peas out, and it's stupid. I hate it. It makes me angry. It makes me so angry.
I mean, I would like to say though that like from what Konami were saying that they're gonna do with their sort of mobile games is move away from like doing microtransactions to having stuff more like DLC instead. So like, if you were to buy a whole DLC chunk for a mobile game, would you prefer that?
I have a question. Why is that different from microtransactions?
So instead of like, I don't know, in order to dig this square, you need to buy 500 diamonds or some BS like that. Like, it's going to cost that. It's going to be, from what I understand, is okay. You've got all of these levels and stuff, and then for an extra couple of pounds, you can get these levels.
That's a microtransaction in my head. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's the microtransaction in my head.
Maybe not exactly like that, but sort of the same sort of model on the way that PC or console games have. So you buy the game, and then later on they add on content, and then you can buy that.
I'm not down for DLC most of the time anyway. So putting it on a mobile and making it.
Putting it on a mobile.
I thought you said like a mobile is like Amiibo. Like Nintendo go, this is the NX, the mobile.
Yeah, that's what I was hinting at there. But just because they've put it on a phone and they're trying to move away from microtransactions with like, I don't know, it just seems like a crappy.
The problem is though, as soon as you
make a game and sell the game, and then I'll be fine.
The problem is though, as soon as you associate, like when people think of mobile games and charging money, they instantly the first thing that comes to mind is microtransactions. Or you think when you say to someone, oh, you know, what's the first thing that pops into your head with like free mobile games? People think, oh, it's probably going to be loads of paywalls. And I'm probably going to be... My one I absolutely hate is, like, Simpsons Tap Tell. I thought, oh, I don't know this, let's see what it's like. Stupidly, just, giving EA the benefit of the doubt, thinking, oh, it's an EA mobile game. How could this possibly go wrong? And it was like, oh, you have to wait for 8 hours to build this one thing, or you can build everything now, just give us loads and loads of money. And you start... And that... Anyway, I'm going to lose... I can't help but think of the South Park freemium episode where I think it's Kyle. He's spending loads of money on this like game, going through his credit card bill, like his dad's credit card bill. Like in Canada, they're like, oh, let's make the government like make some game or something, I think. But it's like they're just charging loads of money for loads of little things. Basically, what like those kind of games are, like Simpsons Tapped Out.
Oh, isn't that Building Canada or something?
Oh yeah,
like that?
yeah. And it was the fact of like that. It's so funny how true that is to real, actual games, because you see the big. Obviously, it's not saying free anymore. It says get, and like on the App Store, and then you go to get has in-app purchases, but then it's like. I hate how it's constantly thrown in your face as well. And it's like, I think after the first 10 minutes of playing, I know that I can pay to get to do this faster. But it's constantly, like in mobile games, if I could sum it up in like one statement, it'd be, I'd open the app and it's like, give me money, give me money, give me money, give me money. I'm like, okay, look, stop now. Give me money, stop. It's like
a dog that's on trying to jump down. Get down from me. I don't want to give you any money, you stupid dog.
Or you just get loads of ads that are really like overly intrusive and that you can't close sometimes, and and it's every time you die or something. It's like, watch this 20-second video ad. Hey, if you want to get rid of all of these annoying things, give us some money. I was like, okay, so in order for the game not to be annoying, you're purposely pissing me off in your game so that I can,
so that I will buy your game.
The enjoyable experience you're holding hostage just to get money out of me, and I hate stuff like that. I don't mind ads because that's fair enough, but they're sometimes just ridiculous.
I mean, like for that though, if it is like we're going to hold your fun kind of hostage for 20 seconds because you've got the game for free, or you could pay a couple of quid and actually not have these ads and play the game that you've been enjoying. I've got no issues with that.
Yeah, but
if it's a one-off payment and it's just like
but how frequent the ads are sometimes. Like with advertising, it's the intrusiveness of it. Like how in your face is it? The reason why a lot of people use ad block isn't because they don't want to support online content, or because sometimes it is, and sometimes it's because they're just sort of thinking, oh well, I don't want like ads. But sometimes some people have like a their own sort of moral compass on it. Like, I only block certain ads which have overly intrusive ads that are like in your face. You can't really close them sometimes. Like, if you've ever been on a website where it's like, how do I close this stupid thing? Or you get an ad that plays in the background, the music, and you don't know where it's coming from, and you're searching, scrolling on the page. Like, I don't want to hear about Febreze or some other thing. It's like,
isn't that IGN?
A good point is that people are willing to pay for that. For like getting content without ads, because I've had people pledge to me on Patreon and say, I use ad block and I feel kind of bad about it, so I'm giving you $1 a month because I want to pay for your content. I just don't want the ads.
And a lot of
that's sort of like what I don't know.
That is a double-edged sword, though.
That is why like they have the skippable ads, because advertisers go. But previously, prior to that, companies would be like, oh, okay, well, I'm spending all this money. I don't even know if people are watching our ad. They might just be closing off, or they might just be not even paying attention to it. That's why they have the skip thing now, because if you press the skip button within 5 seconds of it saying skip, or even within if you don't watch at least 30 seconds of those skippable ads, the company doesn't get charged for showing that. The content creator doesn't, like for YouTube, for example, or the site, they don't get money because the company hasn't been charged for that. And so it's a good way of weighing up, are people actually, you're only paying for what you get, you're not wasting money, for example. But if you're constantly, ads are okay, but when they're constantly in your face and it's over the top, and they clearly care more about showing you more ads than providing you with a fun game, then it can be like, well, this is clearly a cash grab.
Oh man, does anyone remember YouTube a couple of years ago where people were like, can you please watch the ads so I can eat this month? Thanks.
Yeah.
But every time I think of mobile games, I just associate microtransactions, freemium. It's funny how the word, I guess it's not really free, but how the whole concept of free to play has become such a negative thing. Like, when you used to hear free to play, I don't know, 10 years ago, if someone said this game is free to play, you'd be like, that's amazing, that's awesome, I could play it for free. Now it's like,
companies have taken advantage of it and just try to just get as much money as possible from it, which is
like,
why it soured
like
the
alpha
title.
thing, like when people release early access games, and when Minecraft did it, everyone was like, "You can play this game, but it's in beta," and everyone was like, "Oh,
We used to get that for
interesting."
free.
And then-
Oh my god!
And then there's like early access now, and everyone's like, "Oh, this game looks good, but it's early access, so I'll just wait." You know?
With I remember actually linking your video to Fable Legends. Is it Microsoft's announcement that Fable Legends will be a free-to-play title? And I remember saying to you, like, this statement really annoys me that this guy's just said. I think it was one of the developers was talking about the game and why they made the decision to do free-to-play and stuff. And obviously it's the usual PR jargon, a lot of it, of like, oh, we wanted to have a rewarding experience that anyone can play, or whatever. But there was one statement where he was like, if I'm playing this game, if I'm playing Fable Legends, I might buy this item because I want to reward the people who made it. And I was thinking, well, no, I want to buy the sword or the item because it's a cool fucking sword and I want it. I don't want to go, oh, it's a really crap item, but hey, I want to give them money. It just sounded, the way it came across was like, hey, you know, if you think we deserve more money, give us more money, not like, what am I getting for it?
But I mean, you could like in Skyrim just show like how amazingly rich you are by buying like a $20 sword.
Yeah, it's funny how
Not anymore, you can't.
We talked about that the day we talk about it, pretty much like the day after or later that day. It's like, yeah, they've removed it. But that's sort of sidetracking from the mobile.
It's alright, Konami will go back. They'll be like, no, we're not doing mobile games anymore. Sorry about that.
But yeah,
do you see that happening?
Do you reckon? Actually, one bit. Have you actually ever spent money on a mobile game? That's one.
Well, other than actually,
or like, okay, either not for paid games where you just pay an upfront fee, but ones where it's like free to, freemium games where you're like, pay £2 to get more petrol.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't make me do it in a million years because it's such a waste of time and money. I
bought that song in Robot Unicorn Attack 2. And I paid to upgrade a game. There's a game called Triple Town that was like, you can play the game, but you only have a certain amount of turns, and then every like 30 seconds you get another turn, like after you've used them all up. And it was like, you can either do this or pay 79p and then just have unlimited turns for life. And it was like, fuck it. Pay something really cheap just to, because I played the game a fair amount, and it's like, just pay. It's not much.
There's a really interesting game actually that I just remembered to mention, called OK with a question mark. Okay. And the reason I bring this game up is because the game is free, like completely free. There's no like in-app purchases, but it's like, oh, if you wanna, it's like a donate kind of idea. Like, oh, how much do you think this game is worth? It'll ask you from what you've played, and you can say 0 and play it for free, or you can say, I've really enjoyed this. I'll give you like £2 for it or something.
They're going to say like, how much do you think this game is worth? About £5.
No, it's not.
Okay, you can't play it anymore until you pay us a £5.
No.
What? No.
No. So it asks you like, if you don't think that this game is worth any money, then don't put anything. But
I like that. I really like that.
And so it's called OK. It's on the App Store. I've actually got it. It's just an interesting idea, something I haven't really seen before. Obviously, I can't think anyone like EA or anyone would never do that because of the risk that you'd be taking, because a lot of people are just going to say 0 and they want to maximise their profit margins, obviously. But it's basically, if you can even see that. So you just you have to hit all of the shapes, and you draw a thing and it bounces on it. I can't even see it.
Oh yeah.
You have to like hit them all, but you have to bounce it off each one, and there's quite a lot of levels actually. So yeah, that's a good. It kind of goes back to what we said about the Steam mods. About
pay
it
what
be
you
good,
want
just pay
would
what
have
you
been
want.
the best option.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to like see how much they get from it. Like pay what you want. You can either pay £1, $1, or £2. Yeah, kind of like that.
So I think it'd be good if more of them did that, but I reckon a lot of the big companies wouldn't take that risk anyway.
Yeah, probably not.
So yeah, do you think most of the other companies are gonna be like,
I don't know.
okay.
Ubisoft are always have sort of started dabbling in companion apps, haven't they?
Oh, that reminds me. The first thing that I ever paid money for mobile, I bought the premium version of the companion app. It was like £1 or something. Don't judge me.
The companion app to
being
what?
done
for Assassin's Creed, because I wanted to unlock the additional.
Did it actually do anything for the?
It helped you. It gave you more like character slots, and so you could unlock missions quicker, and you can. You also had things like heat maps, so you could see where you spend most of your time in the world and stuff. There were some cool features on it, but the thing that really annoyed me about that, they were like, "Yeah, we don't want to." We realise a lot of people don't use smartphones much, or don't want to use them, or don't have one. So we're not going to make it mandatory in order to access all these missions, these companion app missions and stuff. They just put them on the game in the end. So the companion app was now useless. So I'm like, great. So I just spent £1.20 whatever on something that isn't even got any use anymore because everything's available on the game now. Why,
Did you at least get kissed before you got fucked?
No, I didn't. So yeah, that is one of the things. They seem to do a lot of companion apps, and like they had one for like the Crew, Assassin's Creed. I think Far Cry had one as well.
Watch Dogs had one as well.
Watch Dogs. So it's not like they're not doing mobile games, but they are trying to have like this is an additional thing.
I mean, I think it's okay to have a free companion app if you don't need it for the game. Like, I don't like when games are like get a companion app and you can do this stuff and you get the extra content because you've been using the companion app, but you're not going to get that content if you don't.
Well, that's the thing with the companion one for Assassin's Creed Unity. It was like, if you want to unlock this sword, or because I was going like completionist, I wanted to unlock everything, complete the game completely. But it was like, if you want to, what's wrong with completing a game?
Is it because it's Assassin's Creed? And you're like,
no, it's not. It's not because it's Assassin's Creed. Carry on.
Well, I don't know what.
I'm just like,
we obviously play games to complete.
You wanted to complete the game, so you bought extra stuff from the companion app.
No, I didn't buy extra stuff from the companion app. I paid for the premium version of the companion app, which isn't to unlock stuff that's to give you additional features like the heat map and all that stuff. But I wanted to unlock, because there was the whole thing of, I want to point out how weak of a decision there. You can hack items early, get them early. So instead of having in-game money and buying the swords and guns and stuff, you can get them early by hacking, by giving the money and you get it early. That is so useless because it is so easy to unlock all of the things without doing that, because you get them quite easily. But for some of the things, it was like, in order to get this outfit, you must access the companion app, or to get the sword, you must complete this mission on the companion app. So there was actual content locked away, there was missions, all that stuff, that you could only experience it's probably like 10% of the game missing that you could only experience if you had a smartphone and had the companion app. You don't have to pay for the companion app, it is free, or was free, but there was the premium version just gave you additional things, basically.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that, like, because not everyone is going to have a smartphone. So maybe like X person wanted to play that 10% of the game, but they can't because they don't have a smartphone. So,
and the fact also they went back on it as well. In fact, they went back on that whole entire decision. Just goes to say, let's see if we can get away with it and see if people notice. And people obviously did notice and weren't happy with it, so they changed their mind. Because if they were making loads of money from it, would they really, think, actually, we'll stop doing it anyway, because that's what they're kind of the whole scheme is for. I really hope they don't do that with the next Assassin's Creed. They probably will say, you can hack, you can get this gun early if you have lots of real money. I really hope it doesn't have that stuff.
Ubisoft. Sorry, Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, you be greedy.
Ubisoft.
Yeah, we're hoping they're not turning into the new EA. Hopefully not. So, is mobile the future for gaming?
Hope not.
You hope not. But it
It
probably
could be.
will. It'll probably become quite a big portion, I reckon.
It's already quite a big portion, I reckon.
I mean, I really don't want it to be.
No.
Don't.
Stop mobile. Just do your text and your calls.
I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Use your phone for your phone calls and your texting, but not your internet and not your games.
The problem...
When I was younger, you could only
I had a
phone on your
Nokia
phone.
I had a Nokia 3310,
played
and
Snake.
the best I could do was play Snake.
Yeah.
I had a Philips Savvy, and the best you could do was tell your fortune on it.
I think to summarise though, the problem isn't mobile really. It's the concept of mobile games. It's just the misuse of it and how developers treat it and how they sort of plan their paywalls and stuff and all that. That's the bad thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that
It
is all for this episode. I want to point out that we didn't mention at the beginning why Steve wasn't here. So the reason Steve's ghost is here, and he said, I'm back for two episodes, and then we didn't see him, is because he was going to be on today's episode, but Sky just weren't being very helpful with their internet. His service provider, the internet was down in his area, so he wanted to make it, but unfortunately he couldn't.
What was their excuse? Sorry, we don't exactly know what's going on, so...
We've got to wait until
yeah.
Monday. I mean,
It's
we've got
supposed to
wait
be
until
okay, but
next
it's not.
Monday.
Yeah.
Steve doesn't have internet for like 5 days, according to when this podcast goes
It's like, what was it? He just got a phone call, and all he heard was, 7 days.
Oh no! Oh, I watched that film like about a month ago. But yeah, this has been episode 39 of the Spawn Point podcast. It is goodbye from me.
And we'll see you in 7 days. Bye-bye.
Bye.